Meanwhile, tens of thousands of Australians have rallied across the nation to speak out on climate change. They wanted the message from the 5th annual Walk Against Warming to be heard in Denmark.
Leaving their footprint across Australia. Huge crowds walked through capital cities urging world leaders to act on global warming.
The small island nation of Tuvalu that is pushing strongly at these talks, pushing for a really strong treaty rather than just a politically, nonsense statement. And we need to stand with the people of Tuvalu.
Well, millions of people around the world are taking to the streets today for climate action, from the walks against warming this morning in Australia and thousands of events around the globe. And here, of course, in Copenhagen, tens of thousands of people have come here to send a message to world leaders that we want climate action.
COP15 means survival for our planet that we've got.
Aussie, cat! Aussie, coal! Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Cat and coal!
Well, as you can hear behind me, we've just found an Aussie contingent in the crowd. How far have you come?
From Canberra.
Oh, so the weather at least would be much the same? And what have you seen at the COP so far? Much to like or much not to like?
I've seen members of GetUp, lots of briefings trying to get things done, which is great to see. I've also seen Penny Wong giving the same old politically smooth answers to the difficult questions that youth delegations are asking her.
Sooty's really hoping that the Australian government stops doing the tricky business and actually starts talking about coal, given that we're the biggest coal exporter in the world.
Marketing jobs.
I think that's a great message.
Yes, it is.
Hopefully they'll hear us.
I hope so I can get a job.
Thank you.
We're supposed to be at the meeting with the other monsters discussing how not to save the planet, but we're a bit late, so we joined up with the Climate Crusader instead.
What do the monsters want out of this conference?
Well, at the moment, since what we most like to do is eat small children and they're out in the woods, we like the woods to remain where they are.
Hopefully they come up with some agreement where there's significant changes and not just, things that are on the surface.
And now it's time to take that message to the conference centre.
Tuvalu, 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 350, 350, 350.
This is not just an issue of Tuvalu. Pacific Island countries, Kiribati, Marshall Islands, Maldives, Bhutan, Laos, Mali, Uganda, Senegal, Timor-Leste, and millions of other people around this world are affected enormously by climate change. This is not just Tuvalu. I'm just merely a humble and insignificant employee of the Environment Department of the Government of Tuvalu. And as a humble servant of the Government of Tuvalu, I have to make a strong plea to you that we consider this matter properly. We've had our proposal on the table for 6 months. 6 months. It's not the last 2 days of this meeting. I woke this morning and I was crying, and that's not easy for a grown man to admit. The fate of my country rests in your hands. Thank you.
Right now, things are at a standstill here inside the conference centre. At Australia's insistence, talks have been suspended on updating the Kyoto Protocol.
The picture that is given is that Africa came in with an empty bowl to beg. Africa did not come with an empty bowl. Africa came with a demand. The South came with a demand that climate justice is real. Supporting the developing world is in everybody's self-interest.
Now, unless there's a shift in Australia and the other rich countries' positions, it's really difficult to see the good outcome that we need emerging from these talks here. That's why it's so important that you join millions of people around the world trying to get their voice heard here inside the conference centre. Just take action by signing the petition that you see on the page today. Now, this is the most important time for everyone to rise to this occasion. That includes world leaders and all Australians at home, all pushing for the best global outcome we can get here.